demons of killing and savagery, so they're constantly stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah. And then the fields of the undead.
So,
Okay.
but please continue the conversation. I just figured people might want to talk about this because I don't know what's going on, but other people might.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Right. Oh yeah, intros. Hi, welcome to this. We're probably going to go off topic, although it's going to be interesting when we are on topic. Hello, welcome.
That was a good intro.
Thank you.
Yeah. How long have we been live for?
The couple of seconds.
Okay. Good to know.
It wasn't like, and that's why I'm planning on murdering. Not that we do that.
And my phone number is...
Yeah.
I live at...
If you want to contact me. But hi, yes.
How are we feeling? Just in generally, and then about the sessions.
Tired. Yeah.
I'm kind
A
of...
good tired though.
Good
but...
tired, okay.
Yeah.
I really wanted to have a nap before we did this, but
Yeah. There was a moment I kind of forgot it was podcast day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a online festival yesterday, and it went on to 2 a.m. and I'm yeah. So
that explains the tired.
Yeah, it's been fun, but it's also it drains a lot of energy, but it was fun.
Good. So you were saying about Baphomet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were just trying to link all the names that we were told of different demonic lords in our past session in Elturel.
Yeah.
To see if there's any kind of connection.
Yeah.
Direct opposition, and then Orcus was fucking around somewhere in the woods far away.
Also
as
the
well.
Reaching Woods, yeah.
Yeah, also the same woods.
Are they the same woods?
They're the same woods, yeah.
Long woods.
Yeah. I dropped a photo in the Discord, but they are the same woods, but they get split off at Scornabel because of the river, but they're part of the same woods.
Yeah.
So that if we need to go down on the right side of the river to the Reaching Woods, or if we need to go up back to the Trialta Hills, it depends on where we can meet Kaya and Seymour.
Yeah. To do the secret plan.
The secret plan.
Which might not be so secret.
Yeah.
I doubt it's secret.
What do you guys think the likelihood of this going wrong is?
High.
Hi.
Very high.
Yeah. You're gonna fucking mess with a demon.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one, because it wasn't, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
You? Yeah.
Please excuse me, I can't speak today. My brain isn't functioning. Sophie's officially working as my translator, so...
I apologise if I get things wrong.
No. Yeah. Can you explain? Because there was like a process. Soph, hi.
Hello. Translator here.
Just...
There was a moment where you rolled the dice to make the decision. Why did you decide to make the decision on the roll of a dice?
Because I was kind of battling between what I knew as a player and what my character would know overall. And I was just thinking, well, my character wouldn't know what to do. And it was just fuck it case, because everything's already gone to shit. And so it's a case where Sniper's just like, oh, what could possibly get any more worse? Obviously knowing that, like, a lot more could get worse. But well, it's already at shit anyway. So I just decided to roll just to see, like, what the decision would be, because there wouldn't really be much difference. I think the only positive side of, like, saying yes to the deal with Artaxis is that we now have certainty that he is tracking us in some way.
Yeah.
So that we know definitely we have to be careful.
Yeah.
Because if we said no, then there's no deal made, but there's no guarantee that wouldn't mean that Artaxis is, like, secretly still eyeing us the whole time.
Mm-hmm. How are you feeling that Snipe said yes? Because it's like, you rolled the dice, but it's like, it's still a weird moment, because he's saying yes and it's like, well, fuck.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was an oh fuck moment, mainly because I still don't know that much about it, and I know Janks will take full advantage of the fact I don't know that much about what the fuck I'm doing. So it was just a bit of a, oh fuck, let's see where this goes situation.
Yeah.
I
don't think it'd be any different if I said no, though, is the thing.
Yeah. It's it
made for better storytelling that I said yes.
The thing is, I feel like this entire thing has been like, doesn't matter whether you say yes or no.
Yeah.
you're fucked anyway.
Yeah, the bastard's gonna be on me.
Which form of fucking do you want is basically what he was asking, not...
Yeah.
I think the only real difference it had made is that we would not have basically gone on this mission. We would not need to do this mission.
One less mission to do.
Yeah. And plus, it's a case. Yeah, it's a case where it's like, oh, you wouldn't take a deal like that, which is so shit, unless you saw like a window of opportunity. But it's one of those things where it's like, well, he knows there is a window of opportunity that we have to like stab him in the back. It's like, well, it doesn't fucking matter then. But the offer's still there.
Yeah.
Because like he's not ignoring. It's not a case where it's like he knows there was a window of opportunity and is trying to cover it up. It's a case that he knows it's there and knows we could take advantage of it, so he's just purposefully left it there because it's a game to him.
Yeah.
Naomi, how do you think Kaya will react?
Will react to what exactly? A deal with Artaxis?
Yeah.
I think if Kaya had been there, Kaya would have recommended you don't do it just because... Well, no, I think Kaya would have recommended that you just do it and just kind of use the opportunity to learn more about the whole situation, but that you don't make any official deals with him. I think is what she would have recommended.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of the thing that spurred Snipe on, is the fact that when it comes to deals in the Abyss, it's not as official as, say, an Infernal deal, because there's no real physical contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's like, I think that if Kaya knew what she does know, she would have been like, she would have basically made him the counter deal of, okay, how about this? We'll keep in contact with each other. We'll tell each other where we are in finding Snipe Steven, right? But that's it, right? We're not doing any favors for you. You're not doing any favors for us. Fuck the whole thing with Baphomet and we're just gonna do the reincarnation summoning thing, and if that fails, then we'll talk about it. That would have been kind of Kaya's stance.
Are we gonna do the reincarnation thing anyway?
I don't know. I really don't know what's
backstabbing.
I think so. I think it's a case where like the opportunity he's talking about is the same window of opportunity that occurred when Snipe was split in half in the first place. There was like the 5 seconds of like the two demons being split where Artaxis could have just come in and snatched it, but then Baphomet came along and immediately took that demon and went into the Abyss with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's exactly the same moment of time of like when Baphomet says, okay, Artaxis, like, I agree, I'll hand this demon over, and then he like gets rid of his powers away from the demon, and then Artaxis grabs it again. I think he's talking about that same window of opportunity where the demon has no owner, that we can just say, okay, that's ours now, and then fuck off.
I'm so curious what Artaxis' real demon name is, because he inhabits the body of Prince Artaxis, Lord Artaxis. So I'm so curious what his demon name is, like what demon he is.
Confusing as a demon to go from body to body and
Well,
having to change your name every time. Like I forget what my name was.
His principle is he's a charmer.
Yeah.
And that he was personified by Monkshood as a fox.
Yeah, like charm. He's basically, his specialty is charming people.
Yeah.
And he can do it in a blink of an eye, probably. Because that is what happened with the 10, 15 people around us when we sat at the campfire.
Yeah, and he can use blight.
Yeah.
Or at least he can use some, if he doesn't charm people, he can use a form of like blackmail.
Yeah.
In some way.
Also, like, because we know him as Prince Artaxis because he inhabits the body, I'm curious what other forms he also takes on. Because there are probably a lot of forms he takes on.
Yeah. Would it be the case that Prince Artaxis was a being that existed previously to what the demon form is and then just took a hold of him? So if we look up what happened to Prince Artaxis before he became into possession, maybe that would open up some ideas? Yeah. Who knows?
But there's no real way of finding out, I guess?
It depends. If he's a prince and he's part of an entire family, you can, I think Candlekeep or any other noble family has a book about them.
Yeah.
Okay, so in our working out how to talk to Candlekeep, one of the questions I need to ask is, who is Prince Artaxis?
Yeah. Because we don't know his last name. We know Prince Artaxis, but we don't know his family name.
We gave him a whole title.
We did, but he doesn't really. We don't know their family name.
Yeah.
His family name.
I guess the question then is he's an elf, right?
Yeah, high elf.
So the question is, how common is Artaxis of a name in high elven families?
Yeah.
There can't be many Prince Artaxises, is the thing.
That's true. Hey, Janks, how many... Can we get a census of high elf royal family names of those elves which are currently alive in the time in which this campaign is going on, so we can work out, not like, you know, who they are giving us, but like a percentage of the population with the name Artaxis, so we can like narrow it down to like the likelihood of being able to find who it is.
Yeah.
I think if we're basically spending a day in Candlekeep and we were able to look through the Great Library, I think we are able to find something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If not, then other things that would be related.
Yeah.
Oh god, I can't wait for us to go to Candlekeep. Legitimately, I cannot.
I am curious about, like, who he was before, like, obviously there was a case where, like, he thought Snipe was gone for 10 years and so was doing something else in the background until we just happened to bump into him in the Misty Forest. So I am kind of curious if, like, when we talked to Monksage, he said he was very pissed off that we ruined what was going on with the Dragon's Cult in the Misty Forest.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as, like, why was he pissed off?
Yeah, like, why? Because Reyna asked them, I believe. And Monksage replied with, like, maybe it's because it messed up, like, the courtship with, like, Lorelei.
Yeah.
Or it was something to do with the entire cult. And now I'm so curious if it's indeed something just only with Lorelei and then, like, the royal family in the Misty Forest, or if it's really, like, something with the dragon cult. Because she's both related to the king of the High Forest and to the son of the king who was the head of the cult in the Misty Forest.
Yeah, so it's certainly strange.
Is there a way we could banish him? Artaxis?
I think he's probably too high level, right?
Yeah.
What if we go to
we don't know his name. We don't know his real name. And that's an issue as well that was confirmed, is that names can be changed when it comes to, like, demons. So
I'm sure if we use the spell like Banishment, there is a chance. I mean, he probably has legendary resistances, so maybe not. But I think there is a chance that we could banish him back to the abyss, but he would probably just crawl back out.
Yeah, it's probably he's banished for, like, we hold it for a minute, then he's banished and then he comes back a week later.
Yeah, like he would come back way later, but yeah.
He'll just find his door again to this plane and just walk.
Yeah.
Just be like, I'm back, bitches.
What if we trap him somewhere then? Like, taking at this,
easier.
like, from a new angle of, like, the problem
But, like,
is,
binding him to something?
Yeah, just, like, he's, like, technically, like, if you ignore the you know, splitting in half thing, he's, like, the main issue right now. Like, if he wasn't around, it would be so much simpler. Why don't we just get rid of him?
We don't know his real name. We only know the body Prince Artaxis he
and
inhabits.
even if we did bind him, it's the case where it's like it could be a cursed item that he becomes and could have a very strong influence over people who has it. So he could just, like, use, because he's a charmer, exactly. And just,
if we could bind him, absolutely would be a fantastic idea. But I genuinely don't think that we can bind him. I think he's not powerful. Not even with City's help.
What if we get help from Candlekeep? I'm determined Candlekeep is the answer to all of our problems.
Maybe,
I feel like that is a solution, but that's going to be something that we're going to have to do when we're in Elturel, like, you know, halfway down Shit Creek.
Shit Creek.
Not all the way there.
No.
I need to work out how to communicate with Candlekeep.
Maybe if you went to Heartbuckler.
Well, we're on the way back.
Yeah.
On the way back, we could.
That would take us like an extra 4 days.
We have a month. Like, we can literally go back and then continue.
We have a month and a half left.
Yeah, we've got time.
Okay, wait. Let me get out a map. Let's see how.
Okay.
Well, if it's the case of, like, you want to jump into Elturel to say, hey, this thing's going on, and then jump out, then
we could just do a "this ain't our problem, mate."
Yeah, we'll try fix it before we enter Elturel.
You have a corruption issue here, and it's gonna burn everything to the ground. Y'all might want to fix that. Hey, bye.
It's probably definitely gonna look like that. Like in our minds, it's gonna be we walk up to Elturel, we're gonna go to, like, not the high overseer, but someone who's in charge over there.
It's also questionable. It's questionable for our group as well that we know something terrible is going to happen in Elturel, but on the way to Elturel, we can put the puzzle pieces together of what could happen, but we're not thinking to fix it before we enter Elturel.
Yeah, we probably should have been thinking about that.
We're not necessarily heroes, we're just meanderers.
We really are just meanderers. This is very true.
Yeah.
I cannot find this fucking map. Where is it?
Reina, to be
Oh,
honest,
God.
Reina does want to do a bit more than just go in and warn people, especially now they know about the High Overseer and stuff that has happened in Scornabel with like the cloister.
Yeah.
Hattie would probably stand in front of the library, put fires out, and save books.
Hmm.
But
It depends what we're going to be facing is the thing.
yeah, that's a good
It
point.
could literally just be like, oh, the plains are opened and the blood wars is occurring on Elseworld. It's like actually a war zone. I don't think it's going to be like that because that'd be so hard for Janks to just coordinate on his own.
Part of me was imagining that kind of like Marvel Endgame. portals
Yeah,
opening,
exactly. I was thinking
flying
that as well. I was just
through.
thinking it's going to be that at some point, but it's going to be a large battle and we're just focusing on one corner of the battlefield.
Yeah, and it's like us against the main boss or something.
Mm.
But like the other part of me is kind of like, what's probably going to happen is it's just going to be like a corruption scandal. And then like there are some
Watergate.
assassins involved.
Oh,
Yeah,
please.
but-
I'm pretty sure that there will be a Elturel drops into hell moment at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, because why would the High Overseer be corrupt? Like, what is he connected to? And then my mind immediately goes to either Infernal or Abyssal side. He's connected to a demon or a devil in some way.
Yeah.
Because, of course,
So,
corruption
yeah.
happens normally, but
Mm.
Hardbuckler is like way off.
How
Like it's
far
not
off?
even between Scornabel and Triel. It's like way off.
Well, yeah,
mhm.
but it's just like it's literally the most northern town of the Reaching Woods.
Yeah.
And if we're passing it, I'm getting the thing like if we time this terribly, and I'm guessing we will, we might end up bumping into Sir Marcos who's heading there anyway, and just say, "Oh, come along then if you're going that far out."
It
Well,
really
no, Sir
depends.
Marcus left on a different route. Like Sir Marcus left from Triel to Hardbuckler, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kaya and Seymour are on the road from Triel to Scornabel, and you guys should be on the road from Scornabel to Triel, but if you decide to go to the Reaching Woods, you're still on the complete other side of the Reaching Wood from where Sir Marcus and Hardbuckler would be.
Mhm.
Mm.
Like you would have to go through the entirety of the one side of the woods in order to get to Hardbuckler.
Yeah.
Here's a question: the tarot cards that were pulled,
Yeah.
showed like dog-like beasts. Was that what the
Yeah.
description
Gnolls,
of it?
basically.
Gnolls, yeah.
Knowles, yeah.
And they were setting Hardbuckler on fire.
Yeah.
Personally, I would rather that Hattie gets whatever object she could get from Hardbuckler
Yeah.
before that happens. But
Probably already happening.
what if what we're fighting against in the forest, the
Yeah.
reaching out and grasping Mr. Treeman,
Yeah.
there,
Mhm.
what if that is the fire and like attack in Hardbuckler?
I think so, because our text
Ooh.
is said follow the path of destruction.
Oh,
And
Yeah, we
cities
could end
are
up going
falling, like little towns are falling and getting
Yeah.
raided and burned down. So I
Oh, shit,
think
wait,
everything is
you're
from.
right about that because
I think it's going from the Scornabel
I'm a
area
genius.
through the Reaching
Yeah.
Woods, because in the Reaching Woods there's the Yanogu place,
Yeah.
like the where Yanogu has like the place of the
Yeah.
spawn place of the Knolls, basically.
Yeah.
So I think Hardbuckler is the next on the list to
Yeah.
get raided and destroyed.
So,
So I
Does
think
the-
that's
Does the
symbolized on the
Reaching Wood
cards.
is the Reaching
And
Woods
if-
within the Fields of the Dead, or is it near the Fields of the Dead?
Fields of the Dead is on the opposite side.
It's on
Like,
the
you have
opposite
Fields
side.
of the
There's
Dead
like a
But we
and
went-
Reaching Wood.
Yeah, but we went through it and we saw the Knolls that were being risen from the dead, so they could just make their way to Hardbuckler.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that does make a lot of sense because if you're fighting Knolls, basically, you're fighting agents of Yanogu,
yeah.
and we
Mm.
saw them in Hardbuckler, and Hardbuckler's at the end of the Reaching Woods,
Yeah.
then you guys might actually find yourselves in
Yeah, we're probably
Hardbuckler
gonna end up
eventually.
there.
So
Yeah.
Attie's
why
gonna
don't-
go into Hardbuckler.
So why don't okay? Super meta.
Mhm.
Hattie is hankering after a way to communicate with
Yeah.
Candlekeep.
Candlekeep.
And the suggestion was that if you can't get to Candlekeep, you can't get to Hardbuckler before Elturel, you need to find another way
To
of
communicate.
communicating.
Yeah.
So the suggestion is that whatever's in Hardbuckler is the way of communicating. So Hattie
Yeah.
can push to go to Hardbuckler, and we might be able to cut off Hardbuckler burning down before it happens, and work from Hardbuckler up through the forest.
I would feel like you would probably get there as Heartbuckler was burning down.
Yeah.
I think what's gonna happen is probably we are gonna go get to the Yanogu place. We're gonna destroy it or be working on destroying it, and then something is going up in Heartbuckler, and we're basically following the trail of the gnolls that are fleeing, and we're gonna get to Heartbuckler, and Heartbuckler is in flames.
I've just realized this might be a combination of like extremely like really badly written story writing, where it's a case where it's like we're only giving you one side of the story, but there's so much going on in the back.
Yeah.
Because if we do go to Heartbuckler and destroy Yanogu and the gnolls, that will stop the village from being attacked by evil. But we're doing it to allow a secondary evil to occur. In the same way that in Scornabel we saved like more from like the attack, but we don't know that like, oh, it would probably have been more efficient if he was to be killed because then Krieg could be killed.
Yeah.
But they don't want him to die because he's very high up in Elturel.
Yeah.
So we're doing these like not so purposeful good deeds when really we should be doing something very bad in the background.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I think it's...
Is Heartbuckler first, or is it
Heartbuckler is at the highest point of the Reaching Wood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's basically you have the Trialta. Let me draw it out.
Yeah. Trial's in the it's in the midpoint of the Reaching Woods. If like you were traveling along the main road where we were.
But so is the Reaching Wood.
The Reaching Wood is so where the Scornabel, Trial, and Hardbuckler. The Reaching Wood is within the triangle that connects all three of the towns together.
Right, let's see.
Right.
It's very, very poorly drawn out.
Pass it at some point. Yeah.
You have the Reaching Wood there.
Yeah.
Heartbuckler is at the highest point of the Reaching Wood. Scornabel lies like over here.
Okay.
Then you have the road that goes here.
Yeah.
And then you have the Trialta Hills over there. So it's basically the Trialta Hill lies against the Reaching Wood, and you need to pass through the Trialta Hills to go to Heartbuckler. But it's basically a passageway with the woods on the right side and the hills on the left side.
Okay.
And Heartbuckler is at the highest point, like if you have the Reaching Woods located near Scornabel, it's at the highest point of.
Okay.
So more
we
north.
Go through the Reaching Woods, fuck up whatever Inogi's got going on, and then get to Heartbuckler, and it will be burning down by the time we get there.
Probably.
Yeah.
Which also, of course, means that that's one step closer to fulfilling the prophecy of the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think Kai's going to be very happy when we come up with this plan.
Just like, hey, so the majority of the cards
We're planning a couple of day trips.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
Yep.
God, I just really want the way of like talking to the
Also,
guys at Candlekeep.
Actually, I've just realised now it's probably a good thing that Snipe did take the deal. Because it's the case of like if we didn't take the deal, then the stuff that's going on in Hardbuckler would probably have been defeated anyway. So Yanogu's stuff would have been taken out. Probably why Amargos was going there in the first place.
Yeah,
to deal with
great.
it.
Then we wouldn't have to deal with it.
No, but like that would still benefit Baphomet as Yanogu's stuff is taken down.
Yeah.
So then Nartaxis can then approach Baphomet with like no deal of involving Snipe at all and just take the demon.
Yeah.
So all that could just be going on while Snipe slowly dies in the background.
And no one realising. Or while we find a different fix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Nartaxis is just like, I don't care if you're there, he just thought it'd be convenient for a game if I was involved.
Yeah,
But it's just
I
like, he
think
didn't
also-
need me, but he just wants me there.
Here's a question. You passed the ring over to Raina. Was it a ring? That would
It was the cloak. It was the cloak
Cloak
pin. The cloak pin that I knew, like, as soon as I found it on Hattie, I was like, well, considering that the spider talisman was suddenly in my pocket suddenly, I don't think Janks will just let that happen. So I knew that the pendant was in my pocket at that point.
What was the thought process of handing the...
It was a combination. It was a combination of Snipe not knowing what seals a deal, and so if it was a case of it's like taking the deal and taking the pin, and obviously there's like healing properties in it, because that's what Raina felt, and it was a case where it's like if I took this, then it means I'm sealed in this deal, like there's no way out of it. But I also just thought, well, there could also be a slight curse on it. And I was just thinking, if anyone's good at dealing with abyssal curses, it would be somebody who's dealing with Lolth. So pass it to Raina.
Thank you.
But it's also a case of like later on, like Snipe's probably going to say, Raina, hey, I don't know what that does. You probably don't know. Maybe ask Lolth. Maybe she'll have an idea of what's going on.
I think Raina would have. I think the moment you would have pinned it on you, you would have sealed the deal in some way.
Yeah.
Because I think that's kind of a defining moment. The moment Snipe pins that cloak pin on them, and it gives them the healing properties. That's really the moment when Artaxis is like, okay, there's a deal.
Yeah.
They're gonna do something for me. And right now, because
it's
Reyna
like
has it on her,
it's a smaller form of mockery because it's like, well, there is no contract to like actually properly seal a deal. So it's a way of like saying, well, this is bullshit anyway. So I could say yes to a deal and not actually do the deal because you have no way of officiating it. So fuck you.
Yeah. I think because Reyna has the pin on her right now.
Yeah.
I think she might get rid of it in some way. Try to get rid of it.
Ooh.
I feel like it's going to be a thing where if you throw it, it will just appear.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
back
here's the thing: the pin will keep Snipe alive. So if you throw away the pin, there obviously is no deal because the deal was Artaxis will keep Snipe alive using the pin, and you will do whatever Artaxis wants. So if you throw it away,
that's why Reyna would get rid of it to break the deal, basically.
Yeah, it's making a secondary decision because the contract only signs 2 people, but if you involve a third party, then it can mess up the whole contract in the first place.
The thing that I don't understand is it wouldn't make sense to throw it away and then still do the mission in the Reaching Woods. Because if you do because you got the pin in exchange for doing the mission in the Reaching Woods. So if you're throwing it away, you're doing Artaxis a favor and you're not getting anything in return.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't throw it away, but I think it's written in the case where it's like, even if we were to throw it away, it would still come back to us.
Yeah.
Because that's just the way it's going to be. And it's a case where it's like Snipe doesn't want to seal the deal of being kept alive because if it's suddenly outed that like, oh, the reincarnation option is a thing to get Snipe out of this and therefore maybe possibly screwing things over by like binding the demon to a different object, Artaxis would immediately know because the pin's on them. So it's a case where it's like, well, Reyna could just like slightly disappear during the time of reincarnation and not let Artaxis know of what's going on. So then that window of opportunity really is open and then we can take the opportunity.
Yeah. It basically makes sure that there's not really something we're bound to right now. Because the moment Snipe gets healed from the amulets, it's something that Artaxis will know that it has happened. Yeah. And the moment, and if we're still going for the reincarnation option, the moment that will happen, Artaxis will know.
Yes.
I think it's the safest bet, and I think it also makes sense in character.
Yeah, because Snipe wouldn't have any reference of like things actually keeping you healthy when you're slowly dying than the ring they're wearing right now, and it's a case where it's like that is now in Snipe's skin, like that's going to be hard to rip out, and that's the kind of deal you have to make when saying, oh, I want a bit more health.
Yeah.
So Snipe's just like, so if this is, and Snipe's just going to be like, oh, this thing gives me health, it's going to fucking bind itself to me in some way, I'm not ready for that yet. Reyna, please hold it for a second.
Yeah.
Alright, okay, I can see that logic, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's a bit off, but it's usually when you make a deal and it's like, okay, you get a pin from it that gives you health. Okay, good to know. I will put it on me so I will heal up. But because it's a deal with Artaxis, with a fucking alerting of the abyss, you're like, I'm not so sure. No.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. How do you guys see this campaign ending?
This arc of the campaign?
Absolute destruction.
With a lot of flame, a lot of things on fire, a lot of hearts broken.
I have a hunch that we will probably end up in hell at some point.
Same.
Yeah.
Most likely with all of Elturel.
Yeah, probably.
Definitely.
Yeah, oh god, sorry, I don't know how.
I feel like it's going to be on par, I don't know, because trying to connect it to hell in some way, it's either like Elturel's going to be dragged into hell, or like the second son of Elturel's going to fall and therefore reactivate the battle between like the abyssal vampires and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No,
and then Hattie becomes the new son as she walks in with all yellow, gold, and black.
Oh god, I keep forgetting about the outfit.
It's amazing.
It's iconic.
Yeah. It's a time, man. It's a time.
I'm gonna have to warn you if we're gonna have any stealth missions.
Yeah, I'm gonna need warning in the same way she needs warning to get into her Nowski.
Yeah, we're all stealth. You need deception to try and pass off as a will-o'-the-wisp as you just walk through the forest
with the bright orange hair and the bright yellow.
Yeah.
Someone needs to use prestidigitation to like give like glowy bits and like
cast fly and cast dancing lights around her as she just like frolics through this thing.
No.
Adorable.
That's what I want to happen now. We need to make that canon. Just
To make it happen.
Cast Fly on Hattie, cast Precipitation, cast Dancing Lights, cast Light on Hattie, and just let her fly through the city.
It just becomes an angel. It's like, aha!
coming for the Bard title with that beautiful performance.
Amazing.
Oh,
That'd be good.
jeez.
What else occurred? Oh yeah, finally Seymour talked to Tenebris.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's one of the things I've been buggering him about, because he's just been like, oh, you guys have been doing stuff in, like, Scornville because, like, there's nothing I can do. And just like, well, you have a patron. You can ask for
Yeah.
more information of what the fuck is going on and what's taking us so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Gotta
there's not
get the-
much. I mean, Tenebris is kind of limited to Seymour's point of view about
Mhm.
anything that's going on with us, so he wouldn't really know what's going on in Scornville either.
But sometimes
No.
you
You
just
could
need to
ask.
ask Daddy Tenebris.
Yeah.
I think the moment Seymour asks Tenebris to look into what we are doing, I think
Yeah.
that's when he will be able to like go over and see what we're doing and report back.
Can he? I mean, can he? I mean, the thing is,
I mean, you could send devils out in the same way that, like, Rosette for Zariel is, like, sent
Yeah.
to Kaya to check up. So,
Yeah, but the
Maybe.
thing about Tenebris, what I thought was interesting is that when Seymour asked him for information, he told Seymour things that he had seen from Seymour's perspective, right?
Mhm.
So I feel like Tenebris has a lot of shit to do, and he's like focusing on his own shit. And I don't know if Seymour has enough influence over Tenebris to. I mean, if Seymour did send some devils over there to see what they're doing, Tenebris would probably ask for another favor from Seymour, and Seymour's really piling up those favors. So I
Yeah.
don't really know if it's a good idea for him to do that
he's
necessarily.
making himself
think-
a pit fiend.
Yeah. I
How-
think
Do you think?
okay.
Please
I think
continue.
the moment Tenebris is made aware of something, or like a higher being is made aware that something is happening, that's
then
the
go
moment.
and
Then
do
then they'll be able to report back
Yeah.
or say
Yeah.
something about it. They need to be aware of something
Yeah.
that something is happening.
Yeah.
How do you think Tenebris is gonna get those favors back?
He's already said Seymour, look after my dog, and
Look after my dog.
Yeah, look,
Can you babysit my son while you're out as well? I've got some groceries I need to run out for.
Mm.
Can you make me
there was a
appointment with
post
the
Jank saw on, like, Twitter ages ago of a cartoon or something similar to that, of like a witch like sacrificing and summoning a demon, and she's like, I can do any favors you want, oh lord, and he just goes, anything, and she's like, yes, I'll give you my blood or my firstborn. He just goes, can you look after my dog for a moment? Can you just babysit the dog? I have to go run
Basically
some errands.
I'd love it if that's what happens, if it's just like, look, I have a thing. I
Yeah.
need you to,
Can you
like,
polish my collection of belt buckles?
Can you just quickly make me some food? I'll be right back.
I have a meeting in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Give me,
If
make
you
me some
just
dinner.
get-
I just
Just get me an espresso.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have some laundry I need you to pick up from the dry cleaners. Can you quickly run and get that for me?
He's just sitting down with his feet up reading a book.
Seymour running around doing
Aw.
laundry and making coffee and looking after a dog.
Yeah. That's the true punishment of falling for an infernal being. It's not that
Yeah.
you're doing anything disgustingly evil, it's that you're doing the most boring forms of errands ever for an eternity.
Go put this letter in the post box. Dog needs walking.
I didn't pay for the stamp, you'll have to buy that yourself.
Things need taking out. I have a
Amazing.
grocery shop arriving. I need you to unpack everything and put it away in the kitchen.
Oh.
Not even going shopping, just waiting for it to turn up.
Oh yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seymour's really tied himself up into something really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm-
I think Dave can make something very interesting out of it.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
they really need a moment to really make something of it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I ship it.
That's been solidified.
Just no one's gonna comment. Just like
No,
I-
I'm just
No
gonna
need to
pretend
comment
you
on a
didn't say
fact.
that.
I think it's funny, but it's a bit unlikely in my eyes.
Yeah, it's unlikely, but
It's funny.
yeah.
One can dream.
One can dream, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I've asked this before, but has the plans for after Eldorel, after we have our big endgame fight / boring council meeting, it could be either end of
It
the
could be
spectrum.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both.
could just be us trying to persuade Karen that actually corruption is bad, or we could be directly fighting a demon. What are the plans afterwards? Have they changed since the last time?
I feel like you ask this every podcast.
I ask this every podcast, but things change so much that.
I think I just probably admit at this point I don't have a plan because I really do not think Sniper's going to survive.
It took me asking 10 times, but finally we're at the bottom of the
Yeah, I'm actually admitting what I truly feel, which is I have no plan. Like if we survive after this fight, then I consider that a bonus, and Sniper's like eager to do whatever the fuck anyone else has got a plan to do. So
yeah,
Guys' plans have not changed. Same plan.
Yeah, same here.
Don't know what they are. Oh, I know what Raina's plans are.
We have Baldur's Gate meeting up with their friends.
Yep, Baldur's Gate meeting up with their friends.
Baldur's Gate, Daddy Hunt, hopefully not die, get some books. What a plan.
Yeah, what a plan, what a life.
Certainly what you do at the end of a near-death experience.
Yeah.
I would maybe think that we might have some downtime in game after like 2 arcs. To just
Wait,
like
have we been through 2 arcs?
No, we have only had 1 arc right now. If we finished up the Elturel arc, we're probably gonna go back to Baldur's Gate. To Baldur's Gate, not back to. God damn it. To Baldur's Gate, do something with Kaya's entire storyline, and then maybe have some downtime.
What was our first arc?
The first arc is the Elturel arc we're on right now.
Yeah, so we haven't even completed 1 arc yet.
No.
But I think, I don't think we're gonna have downtime
confused.
after this arc.
Are we counting Daggerfoot?
Daggerfoot,
as an
yeah.
arc?
I think
Wow.
that was an intro.
Yeah, that was an
like
introduction.
a session 0.5. Like it wasn't session 0, but it wasn't like.
It was the Kingdom Hearts additional, like 3.5 or 7.2. Like
no, I do think because it would be weird to have downtime after the Elturel arc because there are a lot of things people want to do, especially Kaya.
I feel like we get some downtime after the Elturel arc. I mean, if we're just.
Yeah, but I feel like the thing
individual things are the downtime. So like going and checking in at Candlekeep or going and looking for friends. I think that is the downtime because then I think the next arc will be daddy hunting and paying back. No, is this not how I should be talking about this?
Well, considering that we previously referred to Seymour and Tenebrous' situation as a daddy situation.
Yeah.
I feel like daddy hunting is not a good thing to lean on to. The daddy hunting arc is for Raina and Seymour.
Yeah, it's about sure. Let's roll with it. Let's just.
It's not the road to Outro. It's daddy hunting.
Yeah, sure. Let's roll with it. I'm sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Jenks, we've decided the name of your next arc. Good luck with that. Even if it's not those 2 things, even if it's not like Raina or Seymour focused, it's still gonna be called Daddy Hunting.
No, I think to be honest, I think Kaya's issues are pretty urgent to do, like, because Luna has been gone for like a little while, and
a good chunk of time.
Yeah, you have information where where you need to go to the night market, I believe it was called.
Something like that.
Gate. Yeah. So I think that's the most urgent thing to do after Elturel.
Yeah, agreed.
Gonna be interesting.
It is gonna be interesting.
I mean, for Kaya, it's certainly more urgent than Elturel. Again, I mean, her one plan in Elturel is just to go there, be like, good luck, and leave. She does not want to stay there.
Yeah, I mean, Hattie's kind of like curious about it. Like, she thinks it would be like a really interesting thing to document. But like, she's not too fussed about getting involved, you know?
Yeah.
Just not the one fighting, just running after soldiers and noting everything single thing down that's going on. Just
the
like,
last survivor.
and then this and this and this happened.
She's gonna Scott's diary it.
Yeah.
Because everyone went out for a walk and took some time. She was just staying in the safety of the ruins of a castle and furiously scribbling down everything that passes her eyes.
What I'd like to think is she also has really weird, like, there's like profound stuff that she's like writing about, and it's like, there was this attack and this person did this amazing move with like a moving chess piece and etc, 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 and then like at the end of the paragraph, it's like, and then there was a butterfly. Or like,
Aw.
there was someone wearing some really nice shoes, and then it just
Yeah.
moves on to like the next dramatic thing, and like just like the weird observations of they looked
Yeah.
really constipated. I don't know whether they were or whether it was just what their face was doing, but it was weird. And then like
Yeah. It just concludes every paragraph with, "I'd still not found Beetlejuice."
Beetlejuice is still missing. Just like a
I think I glanced him, but the second glance it was just a blade of grass.
Oh no, Beetlejuice is gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's gone now.
And he will be gone for a while, I believe.
Yeah.
Wait, where did he go?
He flew off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hattie was
Arthur
trying to
chased.
save him from Arthur the Stoat.
I mean, you have Arthur now. Arthur just seems to be stuck with you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which does confuse me.
He matches your outfit.
He does.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
is he a sentient Stoat?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think he's an awakened
Yeah,
Stoat.
isn't
Or
awakened.
something similar.
Why does he like being wiggled by Hattie then?
I don't think he likes it. I think he's just tolerating it at this
Yeah.
point.
I think he knows that Hattie is the most likely to cause trouble, so he's sticking with her.
Yeah.
No.
That's adorable. I love that.
Yeah.
Also, his hat is adorable.
His
Yeah.
hat is so cute. I love that he's really leaning into it.
Mm.
Both Jenks and Arthur.
And the
Yeah.
Stoat,
Yeah.
yes.
Talking about Arthur.
Both beings of Arthur, including Jenks and Jenks
Yeah,
who is playing
yeah.
Arthur.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm so curious about all of this, but I can't word my curiosities into like questions, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just speak out your curiosities.
Yeah, just
Let's
pick out
see-
words and
Yeah,
see if
let's
we
see
can
if
form
we
a
can make
sentence.
a question out of it.
Yeah.
See if we can make a question out of the scrambled nonsense that falls
Just
out of my brain.
spill it out.
cells.
Yeah.
I mean,
You need to
Sophie's
get
a
it out of your
translator.
brain.
Yeah, I'm the translator. So just go ahead.
Just what if we walk away from it all,
Yes, that's what Kai wants to do. Let's just go.
right?
Either Jenks will.
Coordinate Snipe to stop the whole thing from happening and then just leave.
Like, we have
I
the
think
Lily
Jenks
thing.
is gonna do a roundabout way of like making us end up in there. I'm guessing.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think Jack's perfectly ready for us to drop everything at any moment. I think he has stuff planned
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the only real downside of us all leaving everything behind and just leaving at this point is Snipe's demon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after Snipe's Demon, could we just be like, peace, y'all?
We could, yeah. It's a
Maybe.
possibility. It's
Just like,
Well,
just
you're
here's
playing
the
a-
prophecy.
yeah. You're
Yeah,
playing in
here's
a
the-
world with characters that have their own choices
Mm.
Yeah,
and their own decisions.
As well, like, we're kind of like we haven't decided not to do that yet, right? There's a perfectly like there is an option where we just go through Elturel and then leave. Like
Yeah.
shit will probably happen around us that will force us to get involved. But I mean, we're not really planning to do that much, are we? I mean,
No.
at least Kaya wasn't.
Reina feels kind of obligated to do something.
Mm.
So I think it might be if everyone else is planning to
Clerics,
just
man.
walk through it and just leave it, Reina will probably say, okay, if you guys want to go. I need to do something here. I can't just walk away from it.
Yeah, Snipe's kind of similar, where it's like, okay, you guys can do whatever you want and walk away, but I feel like, I don't know, Snipe feels like kind of obligated for the shit that's going down in Elturel, so they kind of want to be involved and stop it.
And if nothing happens, like it's in Reina's mind, it's still like if nothing happens and I've warned people about it and said evacuate the city to make sure that people are at least safe, then at least I've done something. And if nothing happens, that's okay. That's only like the better option.
Yeah, no,
the
I
better
mean, here's the
outcome.
thing. Here's Kaya's reasoning about this whole thing, right? And it's obviously not the reasoning of the rest of the party, which is why we will probably get involved with what's going on in Elturel pretty deeply. But Kaya's reasoning is, okay, something bad is going to go down in Elturel. We should go there. We should tell them to evacuate. We should warn the people that we can warn. But then, like, what else are we going to do? Like, Kaya's not a fighter. She's not going to be able to take down hordes of demons if they come along, right? If the city decides to not listen to her, well, that's their problem. She did everything she could.
Mhm.
And she
Yeah.
doesn't want to die in some sort of war, so she's just going to leave.
Wasn't there a theory that we had at one point that what do we call ourselves as a group?
The high
High
five.
five.
High five. There we go. I knew
Yeah.
it was something related to the famous five. Anyway, what happened to that theory? Where did that come from?
What
What
theory?
theory?
Theory.
You didn't say the theory.
There was a theory that by us basically what we're doing is by going there, we will be the reason the prophecy is fulfilled.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
rather
that's
than
pretty much it.
happening whether
Yeah.
we're there or not.
That's
I
that theory
don't-
is still running, I think.
Yeah.
It's still running, but I'm not super convinced by it. I think that we might make things worse, specifically with Snipe's Demon. But I think that whatever is happening in Elturel is going to happen regardless, even if
Yeah.
we're not there.
Yeah. I think it's a case where it's like we're gonna cause the shit that goes down in Elturel or not, but it's our decision whether we fix the shit we started.
Yeah, I think it will
Oh, yeah,
go
that's
down.
the shit we started.
I think it will go
everyone's
down
decision.
either way.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Whether or
probably
not
we
it's
will
going
make
to
it
be
worse.
victorious for the bad guys or the good guys depends on whether we're going to be there or not.
Yeah, and I think it's up to us if we make it worse or better.
Who's the
I
bad
know
guys
that
and
from
who's
a
the good
storytelling perspective. That's a good question because here's the thing that we're forgetting. This is probably going to be a war between devils and demons, right?
Mm.
Neither side is the good side here.
Yeah.
And I think that it depends on what story Jenks is trying to tell. If we're telling a story about epic heroes, it will obviously be that, you know, if we get involved, we'll determine if Elturel falls or not, right?
Mm.
But I think what's much more likely to happen, or at least in Kaya's mind, what's way more likely to happen is if we get involved determines if we go down with Elturel or if we don't go down with Elturel.
Mm.
Or at least that's how she's seeing it.
I get
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Why don't we just put them all in timeout? You know, is there any way we can just like create an area in which all of their powers are neutralized?
Time stop? Spell time stop?
Well, that's what the
Elturel.
Blood War is about,
Time
right?
out for demons.
Like the
Yeah.
whole,
Yeah.
the whole point of devils and demons fighting against each other is that they keep each other so busy that they don't fuck that much with the material plane, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the whole reason that the Blood War is like a thing. It's a
Yeah.
it's a checks and balances system for power.
What was it? I'm gonna just show my ignorance here.
I think the thing is that with our taxes getting involved is that the reason he wants Snipe's demon is because Snipe is a different form of a demon from a different world, so he thinks that's going to tip the balance in the Blood Wars and turn up a victor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
therefore give either the Abyss or the Infernal the power to then start to interfere with the material plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the war would have been won.
Who started the war?
The Blood War?
The Blood War.
Oh, that's not something. I mean, that's vague and probably something that Jenks has. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because
definitely going to be before we enter Elturel. We just take that just sudden stop at Candlekeep where all the exposition is dumped
Yeah.
on us.
But
It's just
yeah,
like, okay,
this-
here's all the clues you missed about what
I
the
think
fuck
it was
is going to happen.
probably Asmodeus, but I don't think it's super important because the Blood War has been raging for literally like forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, couldn't we just like go speak with the manager?
Who's the
know?
manager
would
in
that
this
be?
situation?
No, what I mean is like go to like a good guy, someone that we know is good, and we're like, yo. How, like, the fact they're not going to stop fighting, that's fine. How
Yeah.
do we stop them fighting in the material plane? Can we just keep them wherever the fuck they're
I
fighting?
think you'll probably find if you ask that question, the answer is going to be stop them getting to Elturel.
Yep.
Which will be go to
Then
Elturel
how
and
do
solve
you
the
stop
shit
them
that's...
getting to Elturel?
Well, I don't know, maybe Krieg has got something to do with that, which is why we have to stop him.
Yeah.
Maybe going to Elturel means stop him from having any influence of allowing them to fight into the material plane,
Yeah.
because he's a traitor. And that's going to be difficult because everyone thinks, oh no, he's fine. Like everyone who's been considered an okay person in this campaign so far thinks at least he's okay, and then we're here like, oh, he's not to be trusted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
so,
think it's one of those things where we kind of just have to wait for answers.
Yeah.
I don't think we have enough information to
Yeah.
really figure.
Although, like, don't let that stop you going for it. I genuinely do think that, like, there would be something to come out of Hattie literally just shouting to the sky in hopes that Orgma or some other form of god will hear her replies of, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I mean, Orgma kind of gave the response of
Bookworms.
corruption.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So my thought is that maybe someone
I should
is
mention-
playing with powers they shouldn't, and they're going to like summon someone or something, which then opens the gate to everyone else.
I should probably also mention on this that Kaya does have a little bit more information on that she can't
Because of the
share.
Yeah.
Oh.
with
yeah,
So she
Oh,
probably
the meeting
knows
with
a little bit
Rosetta.
more
Ah.
about what exactly is going on, and maybe
Ah.
my decisions as a player a little bit.
Mm.
Ah.
Yeah, because we have no clue.
I keep forgetting that you had that meeting. And
I forgot that
Wow.
it wasn't common knowledge for like a good half of this conversation.
No, it's something we as players and we as characters have no clue about.
Yeah,
and
we
we'll
don't know what the
probably
fuck
never
was
know.
said.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
even as a player, I didn't go back and watch it.
No, I didn't go back and watch it either.
Because
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
they wanna. Jenks wanted us to take our headphones off. I'm not gonna watch it back because it's just like
I'm so bad at
ruined the fun.
metagaming that it would play into like
Yeah.
stuff.
I would be able to keep it separate, but I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna do it because that's no fun.
It would come as a nice surprise if it's revealed.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you guys would be able to, because like here's the thing, there's a difference between keeping it separate as a character, which I think we all can do relatively well. Then there's also keeping it separate from a larger storytelling perspective, right? So when it comes to meta information dictates a lot of what we do as players, even if it doesn't directly dictate the actions that our characters take. If we go, all right, in 10 days it would be best if my character ended up being in Scornabel, then the decisions we make as our character, even though they are decisions informed by what our character knows, will be more likely to end us in Scornabel because we have that in our mind. So I do think it's best for information like that to not be known by people.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Should we talk about Crimson Petal or?
I was about to suggest we go on a break.
Yeah.
But before we
and
say
then
that,
get into it.
I do enjoy the idea of Hattie screaming at the sky.
Yeah.
Just at Ogma. Like she's
Well, I mean, if it's already
Come at me.
Well, I mean, yeah, my mindset for that is just like, okay, if it's possible for Snipe to just shout randomly to like anyone who's fucking listening to like pay attention to one thing, and that has revealed, oh, it's got disastrous consequences because now a lot of people are involved. I'm sure Hattie could just get away with just doing that as well, just shouting to the sky.
No, Snipe was asked which member of the Pantheon she wanted to deal with this, and she just said yes.
Yeah. There was no choice. It was just a Boolean system, either yes or no.
I think it's interesting because like our taxes did say like every demon is watching this. Like the entire abyss knows that this is going on.
Yeah.
So
audience, y'all.
Yeah. So
we got
Snipe
a stage.
screaming into the world, fucking kill me if I don't succeed in this. Every demon has got to be interested in it.
Yeah, he will.
Not necessarily demon, but like possible gods are dealing with this. Depends, really.
Yeah.
It'd be very interesting to see how this fucking goes down.
I think. Yeah.
Snipe just gets struck by lightning in the middle of a battle, just like you didn't succeed, die.
Yeah. I'm now trying to think of interesting ways that Hattie can try and talk to gods.
Just do what I did, find a pool and just lie. I wanted to do starfish in the pool up, just like, help me.
She might start talking to Arthur.
Okay. Fine.
Not like
he's your new therapy source.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like
your characters now have a slightly indirect way of conversing with DMs.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Yeah, Artius and now Arthur. Only A names.
Yeah.
Only A names.
Yeah.
What was the name of the sword again? Because that's I believe
Calcium. Calcium deposit.
Yeah, it's calcium. Yeah,
it's calcium
Absolutely.
now.
Calcium.
Yeah. Calcium deposit. My favorite sword singer. Swinger.
Singer.
Oh my.
We got calcium deposit and stuff for the song. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I think we might need that break.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. My mouse has stopped working. That's fine. I forget after a while it stops working if I don't use it. Okay. This has been great. Bye guys. Okay.
Oh, 1 more
yeah.
hour.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They can hear us. They can see us. Hi. Hi. Hi.
Hello.
Definitely didn't.
Hello.
Ooh,
Hi.
definitely didn't get distracted by things. Okay. I was like, are we ready to go? And then I realised I'm not ready to go myself. But hello. Are we?
Will be the distraction.
Should we just jump into Crimson Petal? What happened
Yeah.
then?
Yeah.
Oh, Crimson.
We
Petal.
didn't die, luckily.
No,
Yay!
no one actually died, which is nice.
Yeah. And we all had a sleepover,
Yeah.
which was fun. And we got
Theo and Neela had a very cute
Yeah.
moment.
yeah, that was adorable.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And then Rascal and Neela had an intense moment.
Yeah.
What
What
else
was-
happened? We had a sleepover. You guys talked about Baal with Gwyn.
Yep.
I'm like,
We got a lot of information from
yeah.
that dude whose name
Yeah.
I cannot bring to mind.
Gwyn.
Gwyn. Yeah, like I said, Gwyn.
Yeah.
Yeah. The premise of the information is basically that Baal is not a god but a deity, and that people, of course, are killing in the name of Baal to give him power back. And if you want to become a cleric, you have to kill a set of people, 16 people in a set 16 different ways.
Yeah.
That's when you become
You have to
a
keep
cleric.
them satisfied every 10 days.
Yeah. And if you skip 10 days, you have to kill 2 people the next 10 day.
Does it also? I also want to know if it rolls over. So if you kill like 5 people in a week for the next 5 weeks, can you like have holiday time?
I don't think
don't
so.
know.
I think it needs
Not
to be
sure.
Yeah.
at least 1 a week. Because he
Yeah,
said
you're not
can
paid
kill
overtime.
as much as you want.
Yeah. Yeah, it's indeed, you can kill as much as you want, but it doesn't stack up for the next few weeks. It has to be kill every week.
But you can
Delay.
delay for like 15 weeks and then kill 15 people in 1 week, and that would like.
You could, but there would be consequences, I think.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you could take a year off and then do a massacre, and then take a year off.
You could, technically, yeah.
Maybe.
Then you need
Your efficiency as a murderer.
Yeah.
Then you need like a name beginning with M, and then you could be like Massacre Mark or something.
Good lord.
Sorry.
Massacre, sure.
Was that entire question leading up to that one?
Massacre Mike
ridiculous
Myers.
idea?
Probably.
Yes, it was. Thank you for noticing. Oh, jeez. I
So
feel
yeah,
like
what should we start with?
I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, the moment Neela's an interesting person to talk about.
Yeah.
What? The reaction to Rascal. Talk me through that. Like, what happened through your perspective as Neela?
That was a really rough moment for Neela, and I don't think Rascal did the right thing in that situation from Neela's point of view, at least, because Neela was obviously already a little bit freaked out by Rascal from what happened before, and they had just nearly been killed, right?
Yeah.
So they just wanted, like, what they wanted in that moment was obviously to run somewhere safe and then to hide and wait.
Yeah.
And then what Rascal ultimately did is like stopped them from being able to do that. And then Neela felt genuinely scared in that moment when Rascal was restraining them. To such a degree that they were scared that Rascal was gonna do something bad to them. And so basically what happened in their thought process was originally they were just trying to get away, and then when they realized that they were physically incapable of getting away from Rascal, they played dead. Right? And then they just went limp, and because like originally it was I want to get away, and then it changed to I want him to let go of me.
Yeah.
And so they were like, okay, I'm not gonna run, but please let go of me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was not a good moment for Neela. They were really quite afraid.
Where does that leave her with the relationship with Rascal? Like, has her perspective changed more? Not changed, Jesus, what? How, kind of moving forwards, are they going to continue to stay away from Rascal, or are they going to more actively avoid? Because you're already on avoidance, right? So would it be a case of, I need to get out of this group, I need to, after this is done, I need to leave, stay away, this isn't anything to do with me anymore, or is it...
Well, no, I mean, I think what that moment made Mila realize is just how completely powerless they are. I think that was what was so bad about that moment,
Yeah.
was that they were like, even if I want to leave, I can't leave, and being physically restrained
Yeah.
from leaving. I think that made, in their mind, it kind of made their position in the group clear, which is that they can't leave. And that made them feel incredibly claustrophobic and powerless. So it was just not a good time for them, like, all the way around. But I think what it means for them now is, I think they're just gonna try their best to, in their mind, make sure that Rascal is happy, because they're scared. It's complicated because they still care for Rascal, at least they think that they do.
Yeah.
They just don't know. It's just
To
that the
what degree?
fear of being
Yeah.
restrained, of being stopped from being able to leave, is currently overpowering any feeling of comfort or safety that they used to have here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Theo helped with that a little bit, but it's certainly been really hard on them, especially because their freedom is always their primary concern, and now they once again feel like they're trapped.
Yeah.
What was Rascal thinking during that? I'm very
Yeah.
curious.
I think he wanted to stop you because he felt that he needed to do something about it. Because if he would not have done anything about it, and he would have lost Nila
Yeah.
in a certain degree, he would have been mad at himself, because it's like, not only does he does care for Nila in certain degrees, and he actually wants Nila to feel safe and feel good with the group and just be a part of this crew, but also because he doesn't really understand why Nila is so afraid of everything, that, like, there's a bit of that misunderstanding between them. Like, Rascal is always like, I'm the one taking control in this entire situation. I'm not, like, people who can't fend for themselves are worthless in his eyes. And because he knows Nila is capable of so much, he doesn't think she is worthless, but he is also like, why are you so afraid? Like, I don't understand, because you're so powerful and you can become so much. Why are you scared out of your mind when something like this happens?
Yeah.
So I think
The fact that, like, Nila is already, like, incredibly upset at the fact that they're so weak that they can't seem to go anywhere by themselves or be able to do anything by themselves. And then when it came to a point where they couldn't even get away from Rascal using their spells, it made them feel so powerless.
Yeah.
Continue.
Do you think there's anything that... Sorry, just to really derail what you were saying. Do you think there's anything that Rascal could do to make you feel better now?
I don't know. I think yes. I just don't know what exactly it would be.
Okay.
Also,
having just talked about how metagaming to some extent is impossible, you don't have to give it away for, like, natural character progression, but it's interesting to hear that it's not just, like, totally done for, you know, there is...
No,
like,
it's absolutely not. I mean, Nila's definitely, again, very easily manipulated, so if Rascal were to kind of put a lot of effort into making Nila feel safe and heard and powerful, they would very easily, you know, just do whatever Rascal wants.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the instinct of Rascal to do that, as a known way of, like, fixing this and getting her back on side?
To be completely honest, yes. Because he, the this hasn't really come up yet, but me as a player has been taking notes about like not ways to manipulate the characters, but like their weak points, like ways to. It's very creepy, but like they're
understandably.
it's because
Yeah.
I really like me as a person really like to observe people and like their ways of behaving and just their general attitude towards everything. So I've been kind of keeping track of like, because I didn't want to ask you guys outright like what are your character's weaknesses, because Rascal wouldn't know. He would need to observe and note it down and see it for himself. So he has been taking note of different things and different reaction to different situations. And he doesn't like to use it like out of the blue, but whenever it really like whenever he needs to get someone on his side, he will probably put it in use in some way, because he feels like the entire group is like okay with him, and like it's just a friend group right now. Like no one has really the feeling of needing to get away or distrusting him. Well, it kind of changed, but like there's no real attitude of like this man is not to be trusted. I need to get the fuck away from him.
Can I ask what some of those are? Like, you don't have to give me the entire list, but some of the more
what are the weaknesses you think that everybody has?
The most interesting weaknesses that you've got written down, whether it's like for certain, like this person, if this thing were to happen, they would like freak out, or they'd feel safe, or what's like maybe one or two of the most interesting ones, not for all characters, not every single one you've got, but
I think let me see, let me look it up. Where is
I'm
it?
so interested in this.
Yeah, of course for Nila it's just that they're like you can influence them pretty easily. Like they're very naive in certain ways. That's one that's been really sticking out to me. And then Oakley is a pretty interesting one, because I feel like Oakley is, because he doesn't like to fight and likes to use his words more, I feel like he's like you can mold him into like, in a shape to activate his fight mode, because he's very passive, but when he needs to be aggressive, he can be, but he needs to be triggered in a certain way to do that. And me as a player is still trying to see if there's some sort of trigger there, but
gonna need to just keep poking him with the metaphorical stick.
And he like I'm not actively pursuing to seek out those weaknesses. When they come up, and if they come up, I will note them down. But that's it. And the others I'm just gonna keep secret for a bit, because I feel like I'm not. I've been starting with it. It's not really full blown out like information.
Boy, you spent a long time fixing things.
Yeah, it was pretty much just an average day. Yeah, it was just an average day for Boy, really. It was just like, okay, well that was fun. Time to clean up the mess.
How does he feel about everything that went down? Because at the moment there's kind of like he's a really important part of the group in, you know, providing, fixing things, tea on the road, important part. Obviously I'm kidding. But Boy's really has this beautiful ability just to like step back and like witness things happening, because he doesn't have that kind of
he's not an upfront battler.
Yeah, like he's not like
attack.
Rascal or Kia who's gonna like say something. Like, so what are your interesting observations as to what went down, and how is he feeling about everything that's happening in that battle?
As far as he's concerned, no one's come off entirely dead yet, so he's not that shaken by it.
Okay.
The whole situation with Theo has made him aware, he's not like upset, oh god, there is a chance that people are going to die. He's more thinking of a case where it's like, oh, if someone goes down, they're not gone, like I can still save them. So he's taking it more of a glass half full situation, and if anything, he's taking it more as like a little bank of observation because of his time working in like the blacksmith and obviously dealing with weapons with some people. Obviously, if he's fixing some weapons, some of the people who are warriors would like stick around and tell stories about like how certain fights go and what's like the really like most traumatic thing that's ever happened to them during a battle and that stuff. And he's only known of them through stories, so like he can only imagine them. So in this situation, we're like, this is the first like close call battle that he's been in. It's just a case where it's like, oh, so that's what it was like. So he's just having an emotional thing where it's like, oh, so this is what it's like to be an adventurer. This is what it's like to. He's more just like writing things down of logics instead of like actually getting any kind of emotion out of it.
Yeah. That's really interesting. I think Kia still. Yeah, Kia still like needs to talk to Rascal because, like, after having the conversation of like, I'm interested as to how all of this works, to like then have something happen that totally took her like out of the blue, like really genuinely shocked her to see Rascal just like fighting the air and panicking but not helping her friend. She was like,
what the fuck?
What? Like, you were telling me to do something when you weren't doing anything. Like, what? What is happening here? So she's curious as to what put Rascal in such a spin that she couldn't save her friend and also couldn't think in a straight line enough to like fight.
That's probably gonna happen next session. Beginning.
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this because I think I have a very fun RP moment between Kia and Rascal.
Nice.
Kind of set up because he's a bounty hunter, so he's been on missions pretty often. And I've been thinking of a pretty weird tradition that usually he would have done after a battle or after something happened. But he doesn't feel like the people he's with right now are the people to bring that tradition up to, because they would feel like, what the fuck, like, that's just no, why would you do this? And it's not anything like sexual or weird, but it's just
now
it's
I'm
in his
son.
No, as soon as you put it out, it's that.
I wasn't concerned or weird.
Good to know. I just wanted to make it clear, but it's like in the sparring nature of like a fighter, like being like cooling down after a battle, basically.
It's not mutilating the corpse and stealing their bones. That's not.
I still love that moment of Nila. It's such a good moment.
It's it's therapeutic,
I also love the stab in the chest, like,
are you dead?
You sure? Just to be sure.
What I imagine is it's not even like a quick stab and like stepping back, it's just like slow walk up, slow knife out.
Yeah, and just very slowly putting in.
He's dead.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a very interesting moment next session. What's going to happen between Rascal and Kia? Because
like she purposefully kind of left the conversation because Rascal wasn't there. And was like, she has no interest in like the technical. I've managed to create 2 characters in which I don't need to take notes. Kia isn't all that bothered because she'll just turn up and fight when it's needed, and she has no choice in leaving, but it doesn't mean she's gonna like engage. However, the Rascal thing she finds fascinating, so she was like, I'm gonna go and poke this with a stick.
I'm curious about that. Is the Rascal thing like, is that something that might keep her with the entire group, like after the mission is done?
I mean, she doesn't have any choice. After the mission is done, the sword will still make her stay.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, speaking of, this is a little off topic, but I told Carmen about it, but I don't think I told Soph. I told the 2 of you about how crazy it was that in that instance with Neil and Rascal, that Rascal rolled a 4.
Yeah. Because, like I still want to know the entire description of that boat.
Right. So let's talk about that for a second.
Because it's so insane. I rolled a 4 and I'm like 4, and you were like, you sure?
Okay, so here's the current list of bones that Neela uses to do spells with.
Yeah.
Right.
Love?
It's 1.
What was love?
4 is love.
Aww.
It's from 1 to 20, and there's a couple of other things in there, but I think they have like 25 bones in their collection, and the 4th bone is called the love bone, or the heart bone, and here's a drawing of the collection. This is the heart bone right here.
Yeah.
And what the heart bone symbolizes is if it's So the reason that Neela did the same thing with Kia. The reason that Neela puts charcoal on your hands first is because the charcoal, depending on how you pick up the bone, there will be either more charcoal on one side or the other side, and that determines if it's reversed or not, right?
Yeah.
And in the definition of the love bone, it symbolizes love, affection, and friendship, right? But when it's reversed, it symbolizes mistrust, false love, and hatred.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was the perfect bone for Rascal to pull in that scenario.
Yeah.
Everything lined up so perfectly for
That's
that moment. It's
incredible.
like,
Nice.
yeah.
Mhm.
Just fate has decided it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
And Nina's still deciding on which side has more charcoal on it. It's also a good moment.
I loved how that was basically the last thing to be going on. It's just like I imagine like all this conversation going on and like Rascal being outside and Kia leaving to go talk to Rascal and people kind of all busy with what they were doing with like boy fixing things as well. For Nina just to be on their own, just like flipping over this bone and just like deep in thought. I just loved like that emotive feeling. Like you could, if it was like the end of an episode of a TV show, you could like kind of feel like these like maybe crane shots or like high angle shots of just what's going on, and then this like extreme close up on like Neela's hands as she's flipping over this bone.
Yeah.
Sorry,
definitely
I
a
dropped
great
in as a
cinematography.
filmmaker. Let me just pick that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, really strange that just sort of happened to work out.
Yeah. That's so cool.
The dice, man, the dice.
The dice. Dice gods.
No. I think it's very interesting that that moment happens when it happened between Neela and Rascal. Because it
Yeah. No, you finish your thought first.
it's a moment that was kind of forced upon these characters because like Neela was running away and Rascal did not want Neela to run away, but at the same time it was also like a moment that needed to happen.
Yeah, I think that definitely the way that Theo handled the situation was a lot better for Neela than the way that Rascal handled the situation, because Theo like actively waited for Neela to come back, and then tried to make sure that they felt safe and comfortable, which is definitely better for Neela than being, forcibly restrained.
That's also why I adore Theo, because Theo is a very kind character.
Yeah. I have just lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Just thought I'd let you guys know that.
It's left the
Wanted to
station.
share that minor crisis. Speaking of crises, I forgot how I say the word butter.
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 Butter. We say butter.
Butter.
Yeah.
We scouts to say butter. Or butter.
Anyway, that was a crisis I had yesterday.
Yeah.
I had some friends. I was like, had like an audio recording of just me going, "Is this how you say butter?" Butter.
Aww.
Just like it was
That's adorable.
legitimate confusion because you know when you say a word or you read a word so many times that it just doesn't make it.
It doesn't look like a word. Yeah.
That's what happened, and I just felt like I was making noises. And you know what they did? They laughed.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Instead of helping me. Anyway,
I'm having a crisis of consciousness here, and you're laughing at my pain.
I need help.
That's why my status on Discord is I'm not hilarious. I'm just having a breakdown. That's why that's what that is right now.
That's suiting, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the theme tune to many comedians.
I'm not hilarious. I'm having a breakdown. I've really lost my thought process now.
You were saying something about Kia and Rascal?
Yeah.
When am I not?
What? Okay.
Alright, yeah. We're skipping a bit too far ahead as we thought.
I think it makes sense for like because Kia doesn't really have a relationship with any other character in the group right now.
Yeah.
And she's just so aggressively obsessed with like dealing with this bastard that she wants to deal with.
I have a thing to say because I think thinking about Rascal, he is a manipulative character, but playing him, I don't like to be manipulative. Like me as a person,
You've picked the wrong character, my friend.
Yeah. doesn't
You gotta
enjoy
really
it.
lean
It's
into it.
yeah,
Do
it's like
some
leaning.
fucked up shit.
Yeah,
Do some gaslighting. Just go all in. You
Yeah.
know.
but like I've made this character that does that and like it knows how to use it, but me as a player is like I'm not gonna use it until it's necessary. Like I'm not gonna just gaslight the characters I'm with because it's fun. I'm only
Oh,
gonna
please
use
do.
it whenever it's when I need to.
Please don't.
Yeah, no, it's
My poor
that's just that would
brain.
be awful. Like that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get that straight. I would not do that because that's just awful to do it.
And I want to get it straight that I would absolutely love if you did that because I think it creates so many. I mean, I played Claire Hugh for a while there, and I was. She's also obviously a very manipulative character, and I was also kind of like unsure of where to draw the line in certain instances. But 100%, I would, as a player and as a character, not as a character, as a player, I would absolutely love if you leaned as much into the manipulative aspect of Rascal as you wanted to, just because I think it would be so much fun to play out.
Yeah.
I think maybe if it comes up, but like it would not happen naturally, only when it's necessary.
But it makes an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Also because he's like he's an evil character, but me as a player, me as a character, knowing Rascal, he doesn't want you guys to change. Is like, I don't need you on my evil. I don't need you guys evil. You're good the way you are, and I don't need to change you at all. I just need to have you around. That's basically his attitude.
Yeah. Have you planned out the conversation or like the response to? Because like you can kind of guess the questions that Kia has. Have you like planned out those questions?
Perhaps.
The answers, rather.
Perhaps.
Great, good conversation, guys. I'm so glad we can have this podcast.
Yeah, but if we're gonna play this moment before it happens in the campaign, it's
Yeah.
gonna be awkward when we're playing it in the campaign.
It's gonna be awkward no matter what. We need to just accept this. And over time it will get less awkward.
It's weird because like when I'm playing Rascal, it feels less awkward than when I'm talking to you. Like when I'm talking to Becca, it's like less awkward. Weirdly enough, like it's weird how it works.
Yeah, because it's like when you're in character, you're just doing what you would do, you know? Like if you are the character, you're acting on your thoughts and feelings and ideas. But when you're outside of the character and you're like having to explain to the other person about why you did what you did, it's not even like if it was with an NPC, I think it would be so much less awkward.
Yeah.
Because you could come on here and like you wouldn't have to think like oh god, but like it turns into like a weird like schoolyard like relationship type thing, if you know what I mean, where it's like I don't want to make them uncomfortable and what are they thinking and what's their thought process, because that's what it is, right? It's like when you're not the character who's doing these things, when you're just playing a character, it's a case of that person not the character made those decisions for their character to do this thing. Yeah. So you get in a very complex.
It's a weird loop that you're getting in. Yeah. Because it's like I am my character, and I am acting this way towards a person that's also playing a character. Yeah. But eventually, it's still me making the decisions and talking. Yeah. So it's like, how does the other person think about me when I said this to their character who they are playing?
Yeah. So I'm making decisions for this character. I am acting this character, and then you just change the perspective as I am acting this character. I am making the decisions.
Yeah.
It's me eventually talking to Becca. It's Carmen talking to Becca. Eventually.
But if it was scripted, it would be so much less awkward because it would just be a case of this is what we have to do because it's in the script, and like it would be fine.
I think it does make for a more interesting relationship because it can go either way right now because it's not scripted. We're not forced down a path.
Yeah, I think Kia is here solely for Rascal at the moment. Like she's kind of like worried about Neela, and like she seems very sweet, and Neela made an effort of like making sure she didn't leave, even though physically Kia couldn't leave. Neela didn't know that, so. No one knows that, so she's kind of like, that's adorable. I should probably look out for her. But everyone else is just like, well, boy makes good jokes sometimes.
She's fun company to have around.
Sometimes.
All the time. It's his entire thing.
All the time.
It's his entire thing.
Yeah.
I am
I'll
just
make
here
witty
for
jokes.
comedy.
I
am
adore,
here
The
for
light
comic
humor of the
relief.
awful situations that we get into.
I adore Boy. I love him as a
Yeah.
character. I think
Yeah.
he's
So
great.
you're playing a more intelligent, less chaotic, more precise,
Addy.
wiser Hattie.
If
If Hattie
Just a
was,
one-up on Addy.
if Hattie was better, just better, not morally,
If
just
Hattie,
better
if
in
Hattie
everything.
just strangely had a twin brother that just separated in life to go in different directions, we both have the
Woody
same
boy.
gene of chaos, but it's been confined into different
comedy,
genes.
yeah.
Amazing.
If it was
That's
a
a
different
perfect
genre.
description. Yeah.
if Hattie was better, more
I
capable.
wouldn't say that.
Yeah. But no, I absolutely adore Boy because he has
Yeah.
this kind of quick-witted nature, which is just like
Yeah, it's really fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, it takes a lot for me to hold it back as well
Yeah.
and time it right because I'm just the thing where it's like I could Boy could slip something in here, but there is important exposition occurring, so I shall wait.
If I just keep pumping out jokes every single minute, it's just gonna get too
Yeah.
much eventually.
That's just how he that's just how he processes everything.
that's
Don't
what
worry about
Hattie
it
is.
too
She's
much.
just
Don't worry about it too much, Soph. I would love for
Yeah.
Boy to have a bit more input in
Yeah.
sessions.
Same.
I'd
feel
love yeah. Boy just constantly like doing things in the background going, that's a stupid idea.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's like that character that's always present on the background in the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or like the
he's a feckin' Harlequin. He's just there.
Yeah. Yeah.
snarky narrator. Like he's
Yeah.
better than
The
all of
omnipresent puck of this
Yeah.
Midsummer Night's fuck up.
us. Everything was fine. Everything was not fine.
Yeah. It was the best of times and the worst of times, and the best of times were not that good.
So mainly just the worst of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have a weird question, because we towards Becca, we didn't really talk about the whole bathhouse situation properly.
We didn't.
What was
know.
there to talk about?
Sure.
Time
How?
Just the reaction says it all. Yeah. What up?
yeah. How does Kia feel towards how Rascal acted towards her? Because he gave some fake, like, weird answers and not completely said anything real, like, not really, like,
Well, to be
Complete?
fair, Kia didn't either.
no.
So from Kia's perspective, it feels very much like she's looking in a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like the cautiousness and curiosity and kind of attraction as well is kind of looking right back at her. But it's not in a way of like, oh, like I'd lay my life down for this person, I really care about them. Like there's none of those kind of soft, gooey, squishy feelings in it. It's
Yeah.
just like, I'm interested in this. Like I want to take you apart and see if I can put you back together again. Not
Yeah.
in that way. Not in that way.
I feel like your relationship currently is you're constantly reenacting like the very first meeting of like the start of a relationship where it's like one of them's sitting at the bar and the other one just like gets the courage to talk to them, where it's like it could just be loose lies or it could be some truths, but it doesn't matter
Yeah.
because there's just a thing of like, well, this is curious.
Yeah. Kia's
I would
kind
have-
of. Ooh,
No,
yeah.
you first. You first.
Okay, Kia's kind of on that element. Interesting. Yeah, well, I'm not going to go into that. But Kia has this kind of perception of like, I know this isn't a good person. Like, they're not morally good. And that's fine. And I know they're probably going to lie to me at some point. But even the lies will tell you something about someone. You know? Like, the things that people lie about and the way in which they lie about them,
Gives a signal.
Gives-
to sort of-
Lies are half-baked
Yeah.
truths.
right? And even if it is just lies and she never gets to the end of it, what a story she's been told.
Yeah.
You know? It's
Yeah.
not... life isn't about truth.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes life is about the stories that you get told and you tell yourself. And the experiences you have, and kind of that as a whole is what makes
it
things
interesting. Yeah.
So Kia's view is kind of like, I may never really know who Rascal is. I can try, and that in itself is exciting because am I there yet? Have I found it out? Have I worked it out? And even if she doesn't, the version of Rascal that has been created in front of her for her, I mean, that's pretty cool. To have someone have to create a version of themselves, have to create a wall or a facade for you, only if you're not being malicious and they're not doing it out of, self-defense because they're in danger, obviously, is interesting and fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
So that's how Kia is feeling, of kind of, this isn't a person that she's curious about the person, but she's aware that this isn't a person who she is experiencing, if you know what I mean.
She's kind of a, how far are you going to take this situation?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. But, Naomi, you wanted to say something.
Yeah. I wanted to just ask, so when we first started Crimson Petal on the podcast, we asked, what's your ranking of all of the people in Crimson Petal? I want to know if any of that has changed for anyone.
I can't even remember what my first ranking was.
I can't remember what my first ranking was.
Alright, new ranking, y'all.
So.
Huzzah.
Also have a lot of initiatives in there somewhere, so let me see if I noted them down.
I can just tell you off the top of my head. So it's Neela and Rascal at the top. Then it's Boy. Then it's Oakley. Theo. Who am I missing? God, I'm gonna miss someone.
Annie.
Yeah, Annie. She hasn't really had much contact with Annie, but she seems alright. So she's not the the worst of the worst. But there's kind of, from the top it goes like Neela and Rascal kind of equal footing. But then under that it's kind of just everyone else. Although Boy and Oakley are kind of higher up on that.
For me, right now, for Rascal, it is Theo still on top. Kia is creeping up towards like the second, third place. It's mainly because I will talk about that later, but like the interest is getting there.
Yeah.
Then I think it would be Boy, then Neela, then Oakley, and then Annie.
There's 6 of us, right?
7, if you don't include yourself.
Oh, right.
Well, no, 6 if... Jesus, I need to say that right.
7.
7 if you include yourself,
Yes.
6 if you don't include yourself.
Okay. I think for Neela... I think for Neela right now, it would be something along the lines of Oakley, then Theo, then Boy, then Rascal, then Kia, then Annie, probably? Something like that.
Yeah, that makes
Oh
sense.
no, is Annie turning into the Seymour of...
I
Neela
think
just
Annie
doesn't
is...
interact with Annie a lot.
Yeah.
And
And
both very nervous people.
Annie is just a quiet, like, self-serving character. Like,
Yeah.
turn to herself.
Yeah. I'd say for Boy, it's a strange thing because he has 2 people technically they see as equal. They probably see Theo and Rascal as almost the same person, just in 2 bodies. So they'll put them both as first, and then it's Oakley, and then it's Neela, and then it's Annie, and then it's Kia. Mainly because Kia's last because basically he doesn't know that much about them.
Yeah.
Finds them entertaining, but in the same way he also finds Annie entertaining, but he knows Annie more. So therefore that's why Joe takes.
Yeah, no. Understandable.
Thing.
Yeah.
You were going to explain why interest is peaking.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me get the right words for this, because,
Let me just go red in the face real quick.
That always happens to me, no matter what. Yeah. I think it's first of all something that influenced his opinion about her, that she approached him in a bathhouse. That is like if she would have approached him like just outside, just normally, that would have been like, okay, this is just another conversation. But her approaching him in a bathhouse completely naked and not feeling awkward, that says a lot about a person.
Alright, note to self, approach people naked in a bathhouse more often.
No, it's just for him.
Yeah.
That's for him. It's because like usually when you talk to someone and when you talk to a person, usually when you're on stage, you just say imagine people naked, just to be less frightful.
Yeah.
And someone.
Oh no, he's hot.
But so, like her approaching him in a bathtub completely naked and not feeling ashamed or like taking distance in a weird way.
Yeah.
That is something that is like, okay, if she is okay doing this, that's a very strange thing. Because usually people are not that comfortable doing that outright. But in general, it's like right now he sees Kia as another soldier, like another person who came from the military, who has done her job, has fought in battles, and he likes to think that he's showing interest in Kia to basically get to know her and to be able to get her on his side.
Yeah.
To being able to understand this person and see how they are working and how they are functioning as a human being. But the realization and like the slow interest of emotions are creeping in, like basically. But he still is like, okay, she's interested in me. I'm interested in her, but not really, because to me she's still like another soldier. Like how much can she learn me, basically? And he's only interested in her because she could be useful to him. But that is mainly because of that she approached him in a bathhouse naked. That like changed that up a little bit.
So he likes being approached by naked women.
No, he doesn't like it, but like it's not about being
an intriguing choice to like.
Yeah. Because if you know someone for like a few days and you want to talk to them,
you don't approach them.
You're not your first choice to go like, let's go to the sauna.
It's not that common a thing to happen. So when it does happen, it's a kind of okay, oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
And also like that, he understands a part of Kia now. That he's like, okay, if you're not awkward in a bathhouse talking to me, like if you've only known me for like 4 days, that says something about a person.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm interested to learn more about you, because if you are comfortable enough doing that, that says something that you will be useful in certain ways.
Yeah.
Because
She's not going to let embarrassment get in the way of like, achieving a certain goal.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Because if that conversation just happened outside on a bench, it would have been just like a conversation talking about how she is interested in him, and him saying it back just to kind of get her in a comfort zone, like get her closer, to be like, okay, if you're interested in me, I'm interested in you, let's see how far we can get. But he will probably not give out any information, but only take information.
Yeah.
But because that happened over there, that says something.
Yeah, a bathhouse has a very asserted sense of confidentiality. And so for Kia to just say, nah, fuck the confidentiality, I'm going to, go through all the rules to get through into this meeting for me to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, from Kia's point of view, it wasn't even something that she, like, considered as being, like, a weird thing to do. Like, she was like, well, he's in the bathhouse. I need a bath. Great.
Yeah. Oh, I can see why.
Yeah, 2 birds, 1 it was literally just a 2 birds, 1 stone situation. So the fact that Roscoe was like, it's quite funny.
All All right, should we do a couple of questions?
That sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Did I didn't update the list, did I? Carmen, what were the last ones?
I sent it to you in the DMs, I believe.
Oh, damn.
This is once again another time in which I have no idea what's going on.
Becca gets confused again.
That's what the podcast should be called.
Yeah, I sent you the last questions we answered. Yes.
Oh, I'm on the wrong. I was in the wrong chat. The first thing I saw was I'm thinking about biscuits.
That's also a good one. Let me see.
Speaking of things in the Discord, that screenshot from Tumblr. 1 hours time clock. 2 hours
Yeah.
time clock.
I it's such a funny image.
I was just sitting here on my phone scrolling through, and I fully went from just straight face, like I'm scrolling through social media, to crying and clapping.
It's a good thing. It's
Yeah.
you can really imagine it happening.
Just like you find a soldier and you cast suggestion and then you just fucking go out.
Everybody clap your
Right
hands.
away.
Okay, what do you guys roll?
Oh, hang on. Do you want me to roll for you, Becca? Or
Yes, please.
okay. I got 38, but I feel like we've done that. Hang on.
55. We have not done 38.
No,
38.
We need to find someone
Oh.
in armor so Hattie can get someone to cast suggestion to do that.
God, you're
I'll tell you
sorry.
what, I'll copy and paste it in the voice chat so we know
Oh.
the questions that we do.
Oh.
There we go. And then, have we done? These all feel like numbers we've already done.
Yeah,
But
but
they're
we've
not.
changed them out, so we should be good.
Ooh, now this is a good one. I got 78.
78. I got 79.
Ooh. 79.
So 79, 55, a 38, and a yes. Nice one.
55 is a weird one. Let me just post that in as well.
Not usual time to sure.
Interesting. A lot of long questions as well for some of them.
So, how's everyone doing?
Okay, we've got the questions, I think.
Yes, we got
Yes, we do.
Yes. 79 is in there twice, but yes, we do.
Okay.
Okay, let's do 78 first.
Yeah.
What television, book, video game, etc. Would your character be best friends? Television, book, video game character would your character be best friends with?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I actually want. I want to add a second question to that. I want what television, book, video game character would your character be best friends with, and what character most resembles your own character?
Okay.
But that is a secondary bit to the question. It's like, what media character is your character most influenced by or similar to?
Yeah.
So 3 questions.
I think I think the second question mixes with your question. So it's like, who? Okay, a media character. Who are they friends with, and who are they influenced by?
God, this is actually a really hard question. I think, you know Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine? I think Kia would be friends with her. And I think Hattie would look up to her as being like this really in the same way there was basically this biker girl in Road to El Dorado, and she was like, who is that? To Artius. Yeah. And I cannot think of anyone else in relation to those 2 characters.
This is a hard one.
Yeah.
It really is. I'm just trying to think of I
I think I
suddenly
want
can't
to
think of any
Snipe.
books or anything.
Yeah.
I think of one for Snipe. Snipe would be friends with 2 particular characters that are slightly what their base influence were influenced by. In terms of television, they'd get on with a character called Bernard Black, who's in a TV show called Black Books, which is played by Dylan Moran, and he's a bookshop owner who's literally just all he wears is black, just like a black, shitty ass shirt and then a black polo neck, and all he does is smoke and drink wine and insult the people he's around. And that kind of stuff. He's one of those sorry sacks of shit and that kind of situation. And I think Snipe would definitely get along with them. And then in terms of books, similarly a very heavily coded character is Maki Ducarabas, who is a character in a book called Neverwhere, who is pretty much a jack of all trades, where he makes a deal with anyone in the book and they're immediately just like, they either learn their lesson or they have to do him a favor. Of like, basically, you didn't want the deal that you wanted to make in the first place. And he's like, yeah, he's definitely one of those characters where like he talks his way out of a room with no doors. So Snipe would probably get along with those two characters, and they are partially influenced by the Maki Ducarabas. That was a good book, by the way.
I, to be honest, don't really like, my characters are not really influenced by any characters I've read about or seen in TV or books. I usually like
along with.
Yeah, I'm completely blanking on everything. So I think a book series that has recently been filmed into a series on Netflix that had like arrived, I believe, a few days ago was from Shadow and Bone. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it.
No
I've
spoilers.
seen I've seen gifs of it, and it looks very tantalizing.
Yeah, it's a very good series. The books are also very fun. I think one of the characters in there, like, I'm not sure if I should say the name. General Kerrigan is like one of the main persons that Rascal will get along with very well. And for Reyna, I would have no idea, to be honest.
Here's a different question then. Who do you think Reyna would get along most with from the characters that we've played in other campaigns, either Last Beyond the Crow Tides or Crimson Petal?
I think the last time because I feel like I've answered the question before, but I think Talise Reyna will get along with very well. I think Reyna is just not really, like, she's not really the most social person, so she would not really like approach anyone and just make friends with them. And yeah, I don't let it's very weird because I don't really have influences from series or books or anything into my characters. Like, they're usually just an idea I have in my mind and just try to work them out.
I think for Neela would get along with any character, like the old wise man trope in like a lot of books and movies and stuff. So like the Gandalf type kind of characters. Neela would get along with.
Yeah.
You know, powerful old wise. And Kaya, my first thought was, Dandelion from The Witcher.
Yeah.
There's other characters like her who, creative people that are generally kind of trolls in most areas.
Yeah.
And characters that she's also very, I kind of, at least in aesthetic, not really in personality, but I kind of realized after I made her that she's relatively similar to, what's her name? Is it Aubrey from The Adventure Zone Amnesty?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
similar vibes.
Yeah, I think Hattie would be in the okay. I realised that Dandelion would also apply to Hattie as a friend when you said that, but I think from Critical Role, I think Hattie and Scanlan would,
yeah.
like, I think he would be kind of the leader and would be the brains behind the chaos. But Hattie would just jump all in and
Kaya and Scanlan, I feel like, would kind of butt heads a little bit.
Yeah, I think there'd be like yeah.
I feel.
I think Hattie would also like Mollymock, but
yes, Kaya would get along with Mollymock.
I think everyone would get along with Mollymock in one way or another in the end.
I feel like Boy. Okay, his inspiration is a character called Del Boy from from a TV show called Only Fools and Horses. I don't think they'd get along because Del Boy is a trader, so he wouldn't get along with another wheeler dealer unless there's a deal coming at the end of it. So they wouldn't necessarily be friends because they're obviously trying to grift each other out of a deal.
Yeah.
I think he'd probably be friends with Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Just because that same manic sense of I'm inventing something.
Invention, science.
Boy would probably become his own little version of Marty around Doc, so he'd be good friends with him.
Yeah. Out of the Avengers, who would your character?
We've had this, haven't we? Where it's,
Yeah,
no, it's like
Marvel,
it's like who
DC.
our characters would be if they were an
If they
Avengers.
were-
Who would
No.
they be friends with?
Yeah, who are they going to be friends with? Oh, Jesus Christ.
From only
Characters
from the
are all
Marvel
just,
universe?
Like, a little bit boring.
Just the Marvel universe.
Just Marvel.
Like including like minor characters like
Oh, Kaya would vibe with Loki.
yeah, Rascal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone would vibe with Loki.
Yeah.
Who can't vibe with Loki?
Yeah.
Hattie would enjoy messing around with Coulson. Just getting like Coulson to pick up the pieces after her. She would just find constant amusement in that. Irritating Fury would be one of her favourite pastimes. And being like really bright-eyed innocent friends with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Brennan would
Adorable.
get along with Scarlet Witch.
Oh,
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
ooh. Neela would get along with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yes.
Boy would get along with Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. Snipe would like to get along with a lot of the magic casters as well. So like Doctor Strange, that kind of stuff. Just because I think Snipe takes a lot of like fun out of just following magical people and annoying them.
It's just like, wow, this is happening. That's terrible. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
I think Boy would get on with Iron Man, Tony Stark.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd definitely get along with Stark.
On
But
the
I don't know,
science
maybe.
binging stuff. Like maybe not
Maybe.
like the partying
Yeah, I think
element of Tony Stark.
they'd be friends in a way that like you would get into raving, ranting, almost slightly psychopathic arguments with
yeah.
that person. But it's all like, you know, with a good handshake and then just like good conversation. And then you just
Stark,
leave.
Boy and Banner in one lab would
Oh.
be chaos.
Yeah, just nothing but explosions and things blowing up into the frame, just like truce. Okay, truce. End of debate. See you
End of
tomorrow.
debate.
I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Neela would also like Banner.
Yeah. Yeah. He has that kind of soft. You know? I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it.
Soft.
Anyway, we have other
Soft.
questions.
Yeah, there are some other questions.
Soft boy.
38. How vocally expressive is your character?
Oh, I don't think we can talk on behalf of Telseril because the answer is no.
No.
There is no.
Vocally expressive in what sense?
It just says vocally
Speaking their
expressive. but yeah.
feelings. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, I think
no.
so. No.
What is
Because Kaya's very expressive and she
Yeah.
talks a lot and she's expressive in a vocal sense, but she isn't super expressive with her feelings all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, like Hattie says a lot, but at the same time she says nothing, you know?
Yeah.
Unless your name is Artius and then
Yeah. Just info dump.
Yeah.
Looking up vocally expressive, it only comes up with like theatrical versions of it. So instead of having a monotone voice, like how do you speak in order to captivate an audience?
That's a good question. Does your character speak monotonously?
Monotonously?
Like we kind of, I think we try and capture it in, like.
Yeah,
the
I
way
don't think
Holden-
Hattie. In that case, I don't think Hattie is like that. Like repressed in terms of how she speaks. She's very performative with how she speaks because it's
Yeah.
very just sudden and there, and it's always
Yeah.
like molded into question. Like even if she's
Yeah.
not asking a question, it's always like rises up at the end to say "huh"
Yeah.
as the exclamation.
She just has this manic edge.
It's the question. It's the
Yeah.
question mark at the end of everything that she says.
My name is Hattie.
Yeah, I feel like we should rate each other's characters about
Yeah.
how we speak
I
because we
think-
can't really.
Yeah.
I think Boy is very, very deadpan and like monotoned. However, I don't think that's. I think it's slightly put on for a humor thing, and I
Yeah.
think he'd just be like not too much either way if he was just like talking normally and didn't feel the need to interject with, you know,
Yeah.
straight fucking comedy.
Yeah.
But
It's kind of thing where it's like if you're overly expressive, people will catch on that you're being a bit of a prick
Yeah.
or like you're being deceptive in such a way. Whereas if you keep quick talking and monotone, people will think,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's an information dump. I need to take in information." Well, that's overwhelming. Wait, what just happened? Where's all my money gone?
wait, what's happened and where's all my money's gone?
The quick marketing technique. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
Wall Street boy.
But
yeah.
also the
Wall
kind
Street
of-
boy.
also like at the end of the battle where it was like, oh yeah, thanks for that, boy. Wow.
Oh yeah, he's very
Yeah.
very
That's-
high on.
That's what I
Very
mean. of,
high
like,
on
as
sarcasm.
well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the sarcasm and the humor kind of
Yeah,
makes it more
So
monotonous
perfect.
than like an
He's
overly
very-
expressive
he's very
dancer.
red brick spotlight stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Just like with a glass in one hand with a microphone in another. Just like he's not there to perform like a clown. He's there to just be straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, also my computer might randomly shut down. If that happens, it happens.
Okay.
Don't
lovely.
worry
Okay.
about it.
Okay.
Rascal always feels like there's some double meaning behind what he's saying, even if there isn't.
Yeah, definitely.
Kia feels very straight-laced in the way that she talks.
I think there's something in like Rascal where like you can kind of tell in the way he's like putting on his voice, he's being slightly deceptive, even though if he's telling the truth, it's just a case where it's like, okay,
Yeah,
That's
because
kind of
his
smooth
voice
way of
is
sliding in.
it's
Yeah.
He talks like
it's
he
the
has all
same
the
way.
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Yeah.
talks like he knows more than you.
It's funny because like he will usually always talk in the same way. When he's lying, he will talk in the same way as when he's being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll never know if he's lying or if he's speaking
Yeah.
the truth.
he's aware of what he's saying and how
Yeah.
he needs to present it.
Yeah.
It's very fun because that's not me at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Neela is very. I mean, the way she speaks is very soft and timid. So I don't think it's either or of like monotoned or expressive. If you know what I mean. It's all just kind of a soft tone, but not. But there's like tonal changes in there. And I think I can speak on all of our behalves when I say if we're talking about expressing our emotions verbally, the answer is no to all of the
Yeah.
above characters.
Neela's very
Well,
not vocally expressive in their emotions, but they are expressive. In their
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we're talking about vocally expressive, like saying I am upset, which none of our characters would do unless it was a lie and we're trying to get something out of someone.
Yeah.
I think
None of our characters. But in saying
Yeah.
that, I feel like Theo is the complete opposite of like all of us. Because if he
Yeah.
has something to say, he'll fucking say it.
yeah, he'll fucking say it no matter
Yeah.
what. Yeah. I think it like that not being emotionally expressive with their voice would change for Rascal next session probably.
Ooh.
We'll
See
see.
how that goes.
We'll see. But
There's
yeah.
also did we do everyone in
Let's roll.
That's right.
the high five?
Oh no, we didn't do the high five.
No. Apart from Hattie.
Yeah.
But then I feel like Hattie's the most expressive in terms of
Yeah.
like vocal range and how much she gives out, because the
I
rest
think-
of us are just very deadpan and leave me alone.
I think Kaya, when she needs to, she can be very, very expressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be the bard in her
She's a
talking,
performer.
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that on a conversational tone, she has a very like laid back, but like slightly. I don't really know. I think she just has a specific way of speaking in a conversational way. But I
Yeah.
think she could put on whatever tone she needs to put on in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With her +11 deception.
Yeah. And I think Carmen is playing with her cat. I think.
Yeah.
No, she is sitting on my workbench and there's epoxy there. Like
Oh yeah. Don't.
Uh-oh.
yeah, I
Don't-
just
Yeah.
Yeah. mhm.
Keep an eye. Yeah.
Well, now you're leaving.
he just
think-
jumped off.
Okay. I think Raina is very, because of her background, she's been taught to be very kind of
Plain faced.
Yeah.
yeah, like-
Monotone.
yeah. But I think if you like break her, she won't.
Mm.
If you know
Breaker? Okay, sure.
Okay,
I get
that
what you
was-
mean. I get what you mean.
Don't
Yeah.
transfer character emotions,
If you peel
okay?
back the layer, yeah.
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 Like
Well, the
it-
closest we get of it, unfortunately, has been Janks, because he tackles with like gods talking to her all the
Yeah.
time. Mm.
and Snipe, we kind of did that. He's kind of
Yeah, straight. Kind of doesn't speak much, and when it does, it's very straightforward and fuck you.
Yeah.
so ladies
Yeah,
and
there's
gentlemen,
a
my official
tone of-
translator.
There's a tone of "fuck you" constantly in whatever Snipe says.
Yeah,
Which I respect.
Yeah.
yeah. Just like, 'cause I've lived long enough to understand that life is just a roller coaster of saying fuck you to anyone who crosses your path. So they're just used to just giving off that kind of vibe, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's really fun, by the way, to see like everyone, even though we're not really putting on accents or anything, it's fun to see how everyone is playing on the Saturday and Sunday campaign, because you really feel that there's a different attitude behind the character.
Yeah,
because
we do kind of partially act as well, because one thing I did notice is when I play Snipe, I furrow my brow a lot. I keep my head down a lot, which is very much how I imagine Snipe to be.
Yeah, I sit differently when I play Mila and Kaya.
No,
Then I just raise my eyebrows and blink all the time, just like, oh, this is an interesting conversation.
Yeah, no, Hattie definitely has kind of like a higher...
Yeah. I imagine she just kind of I can imagine you, Becca, like you kind of have this kind of personification of just like sitting cross-legged on an assembly floor when you're playing Hattie, because just like you're looking up to somebody, just like, give me information, I'm going to question everything you say.
Yeah, I do like lean forwards when I'm like...
You're often closer to the camera on Saturday than you're on Sunday.
Yeah,
you're usually like sitting here when you're Kaya, you're just like sitting like this.
Yeah.
The closer I get, maybe I will hear more and understand it. Oh no, I don't.
Hi guys.
Naomi, by the way, I do absolutely love what you did with Nila's voice. It absolutely suits her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably say on behalf of like Seymour.
Respect. I was never gonna do that again.
Yeah. Probably say on behalf of Seymour. Seymour's like voice is he's
really gravelly.
Like, yeah, kind of. He's more gravelly. That's just Dave putting on trying to be I am a manly voice as he does. But he's also like Seymour's constantly questioning stuff, and when he like finally gets something, he gets kind of lascivious about it. Where it's just like, oh, I understand, even though he doesn't really understand. He's only got like one section of what he fully needs to understand. So he just acts like very, oh, I see, trying to be all snidey, but really it's like, nah, mate.
I have no idea what's going on here. Right, do we have another question?
What unusual character? Jesus, Jesus, I turned that completely around.
It's fine.
What unusual talents does your character possess?
Hattie has an astonishing lack of talent. and just grows with occasionally obscene good luck, like talking to all.
Yeah, I think that's Hattie's talent. They're just extremely good luck.
It's the halfling thing. It's the halfling luck.
Yeah.
I like the idea that Hattie is actually completely talentless and stumbles through life just through luck.
Yeah. She's incredibly buoyant, and that she could be kicked across the ground and be extremely fine about it.
This is going to be another dream situation where she's being lobbed.
Yeah, just being yeeted across.
I think Kia's going to be one of the people who you could know for years, and it would just be like, you know Japanese? You were a world chess champion? You know? Like, I feel like Kaya, I know the difference between these characters. Kaya is the kind of character who is like forever like learning new things and like just being like, oh yeah, I know this, and everyone's like,
she's literally like she's literally a jack of all trades bard thing, where she just kind of knows a little bit about everything, but not enough to be particularly good at it.
Yeah, jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
As the saying goes.
She does play a mean flute solo though.
Yeah.
Know that though. We know that.
Yeah. She's a heck of a dancer.
Unlike Seymour.
Yeah, unlike Seymour.
Oh, Seymour.
Reina doesn't really possess any talents, like any particular interesting thing she can do. Rascal has something that probably will come up later. I'm just not gonna say it because it's. If like I have these little bits that if I feel like if I tell them, they completely reveal what my character's all about.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm like, I can say it.
Later.
Yeah, I can say it, but it's probably more fun to reveal it in game.
Yeah.
Will it ever be revealed in game? Do you think it will come up naturally?
To be honest, yes.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
You've got to tell us it in the podcast when it comes up in game.
Yeah, will do.
With Neela, I feel like I've already talked about this when we talked about hidden things that you wouldn't expect your character to be able to do, but they can pick locks, and they're relatively sneaky. Yeah.
Nice. I guess that would be a talent of Boy, but it's not necessarily an unusual one, because they are a known charlatan in the town, so they know to pick locks and sneak. what talents he would have, because everything's just like what you'd expect of boy.
Yeah, he can.
He's good at-
secretly
he's
make
good
a
at building
really good
stuff.
pie.
Maybe
I
he
don't know,
enjoys
Yes,
almost.
you're good cook.
Because I mean, like,
That's
He
Hattie's hidden
enjoys-
talent, is that Hattie
oh
can
yeah,
cook.
that's Hattie's hidden talent. But it's not
Yeah.
really a talent. It's just like a life skill, you know? Like, it's
Yeah.
not like she's a Michelin star chef. But like, I
Yeah.
can imagine.
I can't cook.
I can imagine Boy being like good at something really weirdly homely that you wouldn't expect.
I guess I could say like he probably is actually quite good with origami.
Aw.
Ooh.
But the reason he like doesn't really cut that off is because he usually does the bending metals and like making small animals out of metal. So he doesn't really do it with paper, but he did practice on paper beforehand before he actually makes the stuff he does. So he'd probably be really good at origami, but just like not pass it off as anything like an interesting talent, because it's just like this is just a prototype.
This is also probably not super surprising, but Mila knows way too much about flowers.
Oh,
That's kind of adorable.
yeah.
Mila has a real love for things that are pretty, generally.
Oh, that's nice.
Next question. Is there another question?
Yeah.
I think there's one more.
What type of character in the world is your character the most intrigued by?
What type of
Kian
creature?
Russell?
Oh, creature. In the world.
Creature.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In the world.
Kia isn't really intrigued by any creature.
Just Rascal?
Just Rascal. If you're counting Rascal as a creature, yes.
Rascal's the new specimen of interest.
He is an exceptional specimen.
And Hattie at the... Jesus
I don't know what I'm
Christ.
saying.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one who's done something embarrassing in this podcast. But don't worry, guys, it will live forever on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Fun.
Wait until we do another nighttime podcast. That's gonna be
Oh
fun.
yes.
Oh lord.
Hattie is currently intrigued by Arthur, but generally she's just fascinated by everything. Dragons. How could I forget?
Jesus.
I don't know. I think Snipe's interested in anything that like changes its environment, so like anything that uses illusion and that kind of stuff and shifts and changes. So they'd probably be more interested in like changelings and that kind of stuff and shapeshifters. I think of all the creatures we've met so far, the kind of the Oblex that we thought of like the very beginning, and maybe the Displacer Beasts that we're interested in, because just like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Neela has a continued interest in dead things, as we all know. They also love weird-looking bugs and weird-looking flowers and things that are just like slightly odd, like trees that grow in weird ways or stuff like that.
Things that are out of the ordinary.
Oh yeah, and anything from the Feywild.
I'd say one thing that me and Dave discussed is one thing that would be of great interest to Boy is Modrons, I think they're called.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, because Boy's heard of them, but he's never actually seen them before. So he really wants to know what they're all about and possibly have one.
I think Rascal's not really intrigued in anything. He only becomes intrigued or interested in something when he can use it in a way, like when it becomes relevant to him.
So is there anything current? I mean, creatures are also people, so if
Yeah.
there's people that your characters are interested in, I'd love to hear about
that will be Kia then.
I like how the two characters are just like, I don't care what goes on in this world, have just gravitated to one another to find an interest.
Yeah, no, Kia's interested in Rascal. But we've already talked about this.
Yeah.
There's no need to laugh at that narrative.
It's a fact. It's something that is there and is known. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Don't
Reyna.
ignore the fire that's starting in the house.
We kind of started the fire.
I think
Has it
Reyna.
always been burning?
Since this world has been turning.
I think Reyna is also interested in dragons because, like, as a child, she would have read stories about dragons being alive and being located in places and destroying stuff and tearing down cities. So that's something Reyna's interested in.
Kaya's interested in people in general. Kaya just has an interest for weird, strange people or things that they haven't seen before generally.
Yeah, I would also say Snipe would probably have a high interest in like water-based creatures, or just like anything that lives in rivers and anything to do with that, just because it's different from what they know.
Yeah.
That's great because I mean, Snipe is about to become a water-based creature.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Going to be very interesting.
Okay, well, on that note, I think we've answered all the questions. We've kind of dived into, well, we have actually dived into everything that's happened over the weekend. So I think the podcast is over.
Yeah, were we mainly on track this session?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
What?
My God. What's happened to us?
I don't know. I think someone needs to investigate. This feels illegal.
One thing, just jumped into Dave's stream and he's wrapping up. So let me see if they're gonna join raid us.
No.
Quickly
what's
write in his
happening.
stream saying don't raid just yet.
Let's see who he's gonna raid. If he's gonna raid us. Oh no.
Oh no, Dave! No,
we should raid him.
No.
Before
Wait,
he
wait,
raids
wait,
us.
wait.
Raid him first.
Let's
raids
hold
us.
off. Let's hold on. Let's see what he does.
Yeah.
Because
Is he
he's
gonna check
scrolling
on
up
us
right
first?
now.
The thing is, we're just about to end.
Yeah, I
we're
feel like
just
we should
ending.
just raid him before he raids us. There you
Let's
go.
see what he's raiding someone else.
Okay.
Salisbury.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay.
Okay, now raid him.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
No, raid him.
We will see you guys next week. Saturday, Sunday, and then Wednesday again.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us. This has been wonderful. And we will see you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.